And welcome back, everyone who's watching on Matazone HD Sportsnet as we return here to O'Neill's Grill as we continue with our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon and our first of the 2014-15 season for basketball. And we welcome in the reigning champion head coach of the JMU basketball Dukes, of course, Kenny Brooks, 29-6 a year ago. And it's several months removed, but when you have such a great season as you did a year ago, how does that make the offseason for you, Coach?
Well, the offseason, it seems like it's coming around quicker and quicker the older I get. But, it was a very enjoyable offseason. You had opportunity to reflect back on a season that was very enjoyable. It was very memorable, going 29-6, winning some very impressive games, and actually getting over the hump and winning a game in the NCAA tournament. So, it was fun. We thought about it, we talked about it, but now it's time to move on. And hopefully everything we accomplished last year will have an effect on us and what we do going forward.
Speaking of kind of accomplishing what you've done in the past as you do move forward, you're approaching 300 victories and continue to have tremendous records year in and year out. But fans always want to say, well, you got to replace such great players. Well, a good program does replace great players every time, and I think you've got a few in the fold that can maybe fill at least some of the void. Yeah,
well, they are. They're ready to step up. As you mentioned, we've been able to follow our success with even more success, it seems like sometimes. And, a trend started, when we lost Meredith Alexis and those guys, and I panicked. I didn't know what we were going to do. And very calmly, Tamara stepped up and became a star. We lost Tamara. I'm thinking, what are we going to do? Dawn stepped up, became a star. We lose Dawn. Everybody thought the world was going to end, and then Tariq stepped in very nicely. Then Kirby followed her, and then now it's just a new chapter. It's ready for Precious Hall to step up, Toya Jiggets, Jasmine Gwathmey, Lady Okafor, all those guys, and then they've been very eager. They very patiently waited last year, playing in the shadows of a Nikki and a Kirby. Now they're very eager to show what they can do in more prominent roles, and they've done very well so far. I've been very proud of them.
I talked to a few fans after yesterday's exhibition win over Lenore Ryan, and many of them they didn't make necessarily comments about the game, but what they saw in physique of some of the returning players, showing you again that, they've got to step up. They've got to do the work in the offseason, and you know who I'm talking about.
Exactly. I wish I could take credit for it, but you look at my physique, and then that's not my expertise. But we have a great strength and conditioning coach, and Greg Werner. He does a phenomenal job with our kids. But you also have to give credit to them, to the kids. You look at Lady Okafor. She's the biggest transformation that we've had. I've learned a long time ago not to give out females' weights, but she has lost 30 pounds over the summer, and it was all because she wanted to. We didn't go to her and say, hey, you need to lose pounds. She wanted to be in the best shape of her life going into her last season. She wanted to be productive. As much as she enjoyed last year and winning a championship, she wanted to be a bigger part of our success, and she went out on her own, ran every day, was just eager to get herself in position so she could have a wonderful year. And I don't know what the fans saw, but I know I saw a lot yesterday, just in her conditioning, being able to get up and down the floor for longer periods of time, being able to play at a high level. She didn't make some of the mistakes that she normally makes when she gets tired, and I think she's going to be a big key for us if she continues to do so.
How do you feel about this upcoming season now that you've gone through the preseason, you've had a couple of exhibitions, we did see the result yesterday. Where do the Dukes stand right now, just a few days away from opening up?
I like where we're at. I really do. I hope they're not listening to this because I'm going to let them know that I'm not very happy all week just to get them motivated. But, we've had a scrimmage against a very prominent team that's going to probably do well in their conference at a higher level. And we fared well. We came out yesterday. We did the things we wanted to do. I think we have a lot of depth, and we're going to be able to substitute kids in without losing a whole lot. But the thing is, we're going to have a very challenging schedule. Right off the bat, we're going to play against UCLA. We've got St. Bonaventure, who's going to be a very good team in the Atlantic 10. We go on the road against a very good American team. We've got Pittsburgh coming in, and then we go to Puerto Rico, and we're playing against Maryland. And it doesn't get any easier. We don't have any games on the schedule where I look and I say, oh, that's a definite win. They're all going to be dogfights. So I don't know if we're going to measure our success early in wins and losses. It's going to really be about, are we getting better? Are we getting better? Because we're inventing ourselves right now, trying to form our own identity away from what last year's team did. And then once we get that down pat, we're probably going to have to reinvent ourselves again, because we get a young lady that's going to be eligible in Ashley Perez, who I think is going to be a really big part of what we do going forward. So it's kind of like survive and advance. We're going to try to get better each and every game and hope that results in wins. But we're not going to just base it on wins and losses, especially early, because I think we can be a special team before it's all over, and we just have to keep building to that. And we can't sacrifice some of the fundamentals or really forming our identity just so we can win a couple games early. We need to make sure we create our own identity for this team. And I think they're doing a good job of it right now.
Well, I think from the national model of what you see in women's basketball, to play the type of non-conference schedule that you are, it's almost a must, although it's very difficult at times to get those type of games scheduled. For example, UCLA coming to Harrisonburg in November, that's kind of a fortunate break for you, is it not?
It's extremely fortunate, because it's almost so unfortunate. I can't say she doesn't know about us. We played them last year and we beat them, but I don't really know if they know what to expect coming to the Convocation Center. But hats off to her. We've tried to get a lot of the schools geographically that's closer to us, in the BCS, to come and play us. No go. It's a lot of games that seem like they make a lot of sense. They just don't happen. Not because we don't want to play. We love to play those games. It just makes sense. I think it's really good for the game. I think it helps grow the game. If you can play, a team that's 45 minutes away and you can get 4,000 or 5,000 people, that's going to help grow the game. But unfortunately we can't get those games. But we were extremely fortunate to get UCLA in here, and it's just kind of happenstance. They were coming to the East Coast. They owed a game back to North Carolina, and they wanted to get 2 games on the trip. And Corey Close, she was familiar with our program, understands it. She came from Florida State. She knows Precious extremely well, knows Destiny extremely well. And they agreed to do a home-and-home, and we have to go back and return the game next year.
Who will be plugged in, or who do you think from your newcomers, what roles will they play? Do you have a feel for that at this stage?
Well, I think this week's still going to be a determining factor. You look at them, you look at what they did in the last week. I was very pleased, especially our 2 freshmen. I thought they both stepped up yesterday and did exactly what we recruited them to do. Haley Barron, hit 4 threes in the game. She has struggled a little bit, in the preseason, trying to shoot at this level with this speed. But you found a rhythm yesterday. I was very happy for her. Carly Brew, she's just like that Tasmanian devil, and she just goes wild and goes after the ball. Which in return, she has 7 points and 11 rebounds, and she is exactly what we expected when we recruited her. But so many kids have stepped up. They're going to have to continue to step up and play. Precious is obviously playing extremely well. We're probably going to need a little bit more from Jazz McWathme. Lady Okafor has done a really good job for us. Muff Mickens has done a tremendous job running the show. I think she had 11 assists yesterday, so she's doing a great job. So we're happy where we are, but we also understand that we're going to have to get major contributions from a lot of people, a lot of different people.
Well, we'll turn it over to local media here in just a moment. A couple of other comments. First of all, I think that Nikki Newman's going to make some great contributions as a member of the broadcast crew, as we worked yesterday's game and gave some tremendous insight. So I think JMU fans are going to enjoy. We've talked so much about her on the network. Now she's going to have a chance to talk about the Duke. So she did a nice job yesterday.
That's good. I made sure she didn't give too much insight.
No. I think it was good. The one thing that she did profess is that she does not want you got Kirby to be changed. She wants to patent that, and she also wants to patent Nikki says no.
Okay.
So we may have to get with the pep band and come up with something new if Barron's going to hit those 3-pointers. So.
Well, if I were her, I'd go trademark that. And,
that's what she
because I'm hoping that Haley's going to make a lot of threes. But it was funny when Haley hit a 3 or something, and the band started saying, "You got Haley." I was like, whoa. You need more than a couple threes for that to happen. But now we're excited for Nikki to be on. Something that she really wants to do. She has the game. I think she's watching it or listening to it right now. I told her I'm still critiquing her, so I need to hear it as well.
Good.
Just to make sure she's doing a good job.
Excellent. Yeah, she won't give any away trade secrets, I'm sure, for you as well. Let's turn it over now to other members of the media here at O'Neill's Grill.
Coach, you've talked about how this team is playing as one. If you look at the box score, that obviously was pretty successful, but what, from your perspective, shows that this team is on the right track?
They're playing hard. I mean, when I watched them yesterday, they played extremely hard. They didn't always execute the way we wanted them to execute, but that's to be expected, especially so early in the season. But I never had to question their effort. They're sharing the basketball. I think yesterday we had 23 assists. Which means that they are sharing the basketball. They're looking for each other. We're still not a finished product. We're not exactly where we want to be, but I was very pleased with the start. And that's what yesterday was. It was a start. We have film. Now we can critique ourselves without, when you play in a inter-squad scrimmage, you're critiquing both sides. If you score a basket, it's great for the offense, but your defense wasn't very good. Now we can just focus on ourselves and watch as we prepare and get ready for UCLA.
Did you see something click just when they were able to finally take the court against someone other than themselves? Just how different they were from facing an actual opponent to when they were just facing each other in practice?
No question, and that's why we do it. You walk in, it's a dress rehearsal. You walk in, the band's playing, the band's rocking. You got cheerleaders there. You got the media. Everyone's setting up. And you're putting on the uniform for the first time, other than taking pictures. And I watched, and what I gather from that, yes, the opponent was lesser than we're going to face all season long, but I wanted to see how kids were going to respond when they're playing in front of fans and what's going on. And I saw some nervousness in some of the kids, but I thought they got through it very well, especially after their first stint being out on the floor. Yesterday we got out of it exactly what I wanted to watch the kids, dress rehearsal, go out. You look at it, Precious Hall has played many games for us, but never in this prominent role that she's in right now. Jasmine Guathmy, she's always been in the shadows. We're going to need her to step to the forefront now, and how does she handle that? Lady Okafor, I thought she was tremendous. She was dominant, running up and down the floor. She's never been in this role for me. So it was a lot to be learned yesterday, and I thought it was very productive. And, again, we're going to move forward, and I feel good about where we are.
I guess with this game being first, this marquee matchup, do you like having that one first, or would you rather settle in with another lower team?
Both.
Yeah.
But beggars can't be choosers. Is that it? Yeah, close enough. They needed the game at the time. I would love to play them when we have film on them. We played them last year, but I think 2 kids had minutes against us last year. The rest, they're very young. They had the #1 recruiting class in the country, so we've had to go back and try to get film on them in high school. You don't know how that's going to translate. So that's the negative, is that we don't have any film on them. We have a box score. That's about it. And trying to anticipate what they might run, how they might change it. We would love to have some film, but at the same time, it's been a great motivating factor. It's not like you're opening up against a lesser opponent where the kids aren't going to be as excited. Now they have the excitement of the new season, but also we're playing against a top 25 team at the Convocation Center. So it's been real easy to motivate them if they haven't been working well in practice. It's real easy to say that, hey, if you don't play well, UCLA is going to come in here and beat you, as opposed to if it's someone who they feel like they're going to beat, they'll be like, yeah, right, coach. So it's been really easy to motivate them with that hanging over their head.
Yeah, I think you kind of alluded to it, but a team from the West Coast coming to the combo, that has to be a mystery. What kind of advantage could that be for you guys?
Well, I mean, Corey does a fantastic job. They had a lot of injuries last year, but she's well aware of our program. One tidbit that they will have, they have a little piece of information. Their athletic trainer was my athletic trainer 2 years ago. I think Lisa Friesen. She was our athletic trainer 2 years ago when we won a championship. So I'm sure she's giving them a scout about the band, about the environment, what goes on. But again, you can say it, but until you actually get in here and feel it, is when you're going to have to deal with it. And hopefully, it's always been an advantage for us, and we're hoping that Friday's no different.
What kind of other regional teams are you trying to schedule when you kind of talked about that?
All of them. Yeah, we would love to continue to play against Virginia. We reached out to them, no go. We reached out to Virginia Tech, no go. Reached out to even George Mason, Old Dominion, VCU, no go. So Radford, no go. It's Maryland. We had to chase, and we found out they were playing in the Puerto Rico tournament, so we jumped on that if we could play them. It's just been unfortunate because there's a lot of games that make a lot of sense. And the teams are, programs are just for whatever reason not willing to play us right now. But we'll play anyone, especially regionally. The game we can generate, fan support, whether it's here or whether it's there, that makes sense. But we just haven't had that success in playing those teams.
Are you guys almost just too risky of a non-conference game to schedule these teams?
I think that's what they think, but it's not like we just jumped on the scene. We've been pretty good for a long time, and it's not considered a bad loss if we've beaten some of the BCS programs because we've had success against them. But everyone's different. I come from the Wendy Larry old school that I'll play. If you want to be a great team, you got to play great teams. You can stockpile wins, but we want to try to win the right game. And win the right game are the BCS programs, and so we try to play them. I guess it's a backhanded compliment that they don't want to come through here. But we'll continue to try to get teams, to lure teams in here, and I think it's a big plus for women's basketball to have a team like UCLA coming here to play at the Convocation Center. I would have loved to the game to have been a little bit later, but it is what it is, and I think we'll still get good support on Friday.
To go back to UCLA, what kind of matchup is that for you guys? What kind of style do they play?
They're going to be a little bit different this year. They're going to be deeper. And again, as I mentioned before, they have the #1 recruiting class in the country. I think they have 5 kids who are all in the top 30. So they're going to be extremely talented. They're going to be deeper. And I think I'm anticipating. She runs a Princeton-style offense, but I'm anticipating that defensively she's going to do some more. Maybe extend the floor a little bit, trap a little bit more because of their athleticism. But again, we just don't know. We don't know how their freshmen are going to fare, at a step up at a different level. I'm sure they're going to be fine. We had a taste of that a little bit last year when we played against North Carolina, and they had the best recruiting class the year before. So it's just going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of unknowns, and I think you're going to see 2 teams that are really going to be trying to fill each other out in the first few minutes of the game, and then I think we're all going to settle down, and I think it's going to be a tremendous basketball game.
Thanks.
All right.
You kind of alluded to it earlier, but given the success you guys have had in recent seasons, you feel like your program is pretty much beyond the point of being able to sneak up on teams now?
Yeah, we don't anticipate ever sneaking up on anyone else, and it's evident when I talk to a lot of the other coaches, at like a Corey or someone for the coach from Vanderbilt, they're very aware of our program. Even if the national media is not aware or the pollsters, people who play against us or think about playing against us, they understand how good we are, and they especially understand the environment that we've created at the Convocation Center. So when we're playing kids, it's funny you say sneaking up on someone. I tell them all the time, you're not going to sneak up on anyone. They understand who you are, how good you are, and we're made aware of that a lot when we talk to people, when we try to schedule. They know exactly who we are and how good we are, and especially if you try to come through the Convocation Center.
Coach, there are a lot of details that go into certainly running a basketball program or an athletic program in general. When you have all those details, how does it make things a little easier to go into the season when you've got the continuity of your coaching staff?
It's tremendous. We were alluding to it yesterday when we had a recruit on campus. It's just, you can say it, and it's not just a motto for us, bleeding purple. We bleed purple. And when we bring kids in, we hold them to a higher standard. Because they're playing at our school. They're walking on campus, having the same professors that we had. They're putting the same uniform on. They run down the ramp to the same song that we ran to. So we expect, a lot from you. It's not just a job for us, and so it makes it easier. The lingo, it's really great to have those kids around. I have 3 former players that are, in my office who can do a lot of the counseling to the current players. About me, if he said this, he's really just trying to get you going in that way. And where the kids are not trying to, they don't hold it, against me, or they don't take it personal. So it's a tremendous plus. And you look at Sean O'Regan, I've had him for like 6 or 7 years, maybe a little bit longer. But the continuity is a big plus for us, and it really helps our program continue to stay at a high level.
I just think it's important to remind fans or those that are just kind of jumping on board that one of only 2 in the country last year that had a complete staff made up of alumni. very unique for you and your program.
A lot of familiarity in the office, whether it's the jokes that we tell, the stories that I've told. They probably heard them 10 times already, but it makes a lot more sense that they hear it 10 times instead of once, and they're able to relay it. But it's been a tremendous plus, and I'm looking forward to the second year of them here.
All right, Coach, thank you for joining us this week here at O'Neill's Grill for our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon as the Dukes open up the 2014-15 women's basketball season, hosting the 23rd-ranked Bruins of UCLA. Tip-off is at 1 o'clock at the JMU Convocation Center, and pregame coverage on Matazone HD Sportsnet video will begin at 12:50. And on audio, you can join Nikki Newman and David Taylor, and that will be at 12:40. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll chat with JMU men's basketball coach Matt Brady as we continue with our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon here at O'Neill's Grill.